We see in scriptures, out of the mouth come blessings or cursing. So bless. You know, if we have an enemy, Christ says to love your enemies and to pray for those who persecute you. Something that we do on our retreats at the Abbey, we would go over to the big Abbey church, and it's beautiful. They have all these beautiful paintings that's done by Father Gregory DeWitt years ago, like in I think the early 50s. And when you walk in, right above the altar, there's this beautiful painting of the risen Christ, Christ rising in the east, right? And it's like this new Jerusalem, and you can see beautiful colors and all this. And then, so it's this path that we're heading towards Christ. And below this picture is these angels they're almost hands are touching. They're lined around. And these angels are, in a sense, kind of holding up the heavens or whatever. But if you look beneath their fingers, if you fall beneath their fingers, you see these demons underneath it, painted in church, and Satan's in the middle, and then they have 8 other demons around them, in between the fingers of all the angels, and the 8 demons represent the 8 deadly sins. Now, we know the 7 deadly sins, but what Gregory DeWitt did was that he wanted to point out something that Saint Benedict had talked about in the Rule, which was the sin of murmuring, that it was just as great as the 7 deadly sins, that it could destroy a monastic community. And if you think about it, like these deadly sins are trying to lead us to unity, trying to lead us in love, but we can fall away. And we can turn away from that hope that we're walking towards and that we're looking towards. And we're building up. And we're not just trying to build up heaven we're also here trying to build a community of love here on earth too, as well as we try to work towards heaven. So he points out that this evil for this monastic community, this cancer that could be brought into the community by this murmuring, this backbiting, this complaining that you can do and you can bring up. But it's so true in marriage as well, in family. Like, it's not just for a monastic community to avoid the sin of complaining or murmuring, but for us to have grateful hearts. I mean, remember what happened to the Israelites as they were out of the promised land. The Lord, rescued them out of Egypt, and then they were complaining in the desert, and how the Lord responded to that complaining. So we need to realize that complaining, it ain't of God. We need to turn to the Lord and give thanks for all that we have. And at our house, Elise has this beautiful picture I think she got from Hobby Lobby or something like that. But it says, there is always, 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 always something to be thankful for. And to be able to see that. And so we can't have in our homes, we can't be fostering and turning to grumbling and complaining in our homes. I mean, sometimes we grew up we might have been raised in a family that might have been the family tradition, was to complain about everything. But regardless, we've got to break that tradition and bring love, right? Christ says, we see in scriptures, out of the mouth come blessings or cursing. So bless. If we have an enemy, Christ says to love your enemies and to pray for those who persecute you. So whenever it comes to maybe somebody who's done us wrong, maybe inside the home or outside the home, maybe what we should do is instead turn to prayer. And whenever we feel that tendency for ourselves or someone else kind of going in that area of murmuring, complaining, backbiting, redirect it into a prayer. And give your beloved permission to say, look, if I'm trying to grow in this area, I don't want to have this speech in my mouth. I want to build up with my words. If you hear me going in a direction, give me a gentle, loving nudge and remind me let's go to prayer with this.